Hey guys, I'm Matt, and welcome to another book review. Today's book is The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. When the book opens, we learn that there's a war going on, and these four children, Peter, Lucy, Eggman, and Susan, are sent to live with the professor. Soon after they arrive at the professor's house, they decide to go look around because they know that they're going to be there for a while. They eventually come across a room that has nothing in it though, except for a large wardrobe. They look over it for a minute and they decide that there's nothing really unusual about it, so they leave except for Lucy. I believe that she's 9, and being that she's so young, she still has the vivid imagination of a child. So Lucy decides to take a look in it, and at first there's nothing really wrong with it. But she notices when she pushes aside the coats and starts going back, there's no backside to it. There's just a long hallway that she can't find any solid object of a back of the wardrobe. So she decides to go down it, and at first she starts to feel cold, and then she starts to hear snow crackling under her feet, and eventually she finds herself in this magical land where it's snowing and there's trees. Within minutes of being within this magical land, Lucy comes across a fawn named Mr. Thomas who starts to ask her questions, how did she get there, what's her name, is she the daughter of Eve? And he eventually informs her that this magical land is called Narnia, that is permanently under the spell of a white witch who's always making it snow. Mr. Thomas and Lucy talk for a while until eventually Lucy decides to go back through the wardrobe. On the other side, she finds her brothers and sister and tells them that there's this magical land within the wardrobe called Narnia, and there's this fawn and a white witch who's always making it snow and bad things happening. And of course, none of them's going to believe it because she's a young child. She's making up things, her imagination's running away from her. A few days later, they're playing hide and go seek, and Eggman sees Lucy go into the wardrobe as a hiding spot. And he decides that he wants to take her spot because it's a good hiding spot. No one's going to think to look in there. But as soon as he opens the door, he can't find Lucy anywhere. Eggman finds himself in the same hallway that Lucy went down, and eventually he finds himself in Narnia. On the other side, he sees Lucy's footprints in the snow and is about to follow them when he hears bells off in the distance coming towards him. A woman dressed all in white and with white hair shows up on a sled and starts asking him questions, and he answers them the best he can, but he starts to notice that she's not really accepting of his answers, so he informs her that there's more of them. He has a brother and 2 sisters, and the woman on the sled is just overjoyed with this thought because she needs 4 people for something. I'm not going to tell you why she needs them. So the woman informs Eggman that if he can get his brother and sisters to come there, then she will make him Prince of Narnia. And I'm not really going to say any more about the plot of the book because if I say any more, I'll give away a lot more than I want to. I really enjoyed this book. I am a huge fan of children's books, even though I'm 24. I still read them because there's something about them, the whole whimsical, mystical land where anything can happen. You have talking animals, you have trees that are spies, you have trolls and gnomes and elves. All these things that are usually in children's books are there. There's one part in the book where Santa comes up in the form of Father Christmas and delivers presents to the 4 children. In the term of fantasy books, the Chronicles of Narnia have been compared to such books as Lord of the Rings, which I've never read, sadly. So I can't really make a comparison between the two. Another thing I really enjoyed about the book was the way C.S. Lewis wrote it. He let it be known that it was a child's book. He kept making references to Narnia characters and how they could talk, but if it was in the real world, they couldn't talk. And a bunch of children's books really don't do that. I've read a lot of them, and that's probably the only one that I've ever read that let it be known that it was a child's book. The only bad thing I will say about this book is the religious undertones. C.S. Lewis was a really devoted Christian, and he let it be known through some of the characters and the dialogue. It just bugged me because it's a child's book. Yeah, it was written back in the 30s, but some of the Christian undertones in it should not have been in the book at all. And I'm not just saying that to bash religion, it just was useless in the book. Well guys, those were my thoughts and views on the Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe, it really helps me out. Also, if you've read the book, leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of it. I would love to hear your input on it. Thank you guys for watching as always, and I'll see you guys at the next book review.